Reddit fresh. Am I the idiot for demolishing my daughter's room after she moved out? My 18-year-old daughter Meg is in college. She moved in with her boyfriend a few months ago, which left her old bedroom empty. Her bedroom used to be right next to our tiny living room. To make our tiny living room into a normal-sized living room, we knocked out my daughter's room's wall, reflowed the space, and fixed the walls. Now it looks like the bedroom was never there, and we have a spacious living room. When my daughter came home to visit and saw that her room was gone, she made a huge deal about it. She got all emotional and said if we never wanted to let her move back, we should have just said so instead of completely demolishing her room. I told her that if anything happens and she needs to move back, we will welcome her and she could sleep on the couch as long as she wants. But she accused us of wanting to get rid of her forever and for her to never visit us since we got rid of her room so fast, only a few months after she moved out, and we should have waited longer. You're the idiot. Is it your house? Sure. But when college kids say they're going to visit their parents, they say they're going home. And you took a part of that, her safe space that she grew up in, without so much as a heads up. Just because you can, doesn't mean you're not an idiot if you do. You're the idiot. For poor communication skills because you never seemed to have told her until she visited you and she got blindsided by the room where she grew up in no longer existing and every trace of it ever being there removed. Now, for the next story. Would I be the idiot if I tell my sister and brother-in-law about an issue last night at their wedding with me and his cousin? My sister got married last night. It was great, but there was an issue with me and a cousin of the groom. The wedding was about a 3-hour drive from our house, and the venue is also a resort. So we got one of the rooms that was booked as part of the wedding group. The place also has complimentary EV chargers, so I didn't stop to charge along the way. When we got there, one of the chargers was in use, and the other had a regular car parked in the spot, blocking it. This was the corner of the lot, and there was like a utility shed off to the side of that spot, with the golf course behind the parking lot. I was able to back up to the car and get the charger to reach, without disrupting anyone else. Also, as I'm sure people will ask, the spots on the other side of the plugged-in car were occupied, so that wasn't an option. My now brother-in-law came up to me later after cake was served and asked if I blocked a car to plug in and said his cousin was freaking out and that I needed to move. No problem. Got up right away and went. But then I get out there and this guy is flipping the frick out. Who do you think you are? You don't know whose car this might be you're blocking. What if I needed to get back to my kid, etc.? I was like, hey man, we're family now, so I'm just gonna move the car and you go ahead and calm down. And then he goes, no, I'm sick of you people thinking it's okay to do this. At that point I go, whoa, listen buddy. I saw the lot was pretty full when we got here, which is why I didn't give you poop for parking here. But now I'm getting the feeling this has happened before, so WTF is your problem with blocking chargers. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, but honestly, I'm sure you could have parked somewhere else. At this point, the car is unplugged and I'm getting in it. And he's like, yeah, I'm not walking further, so you can plug your toy in. At that point, I told him if I see your car again anywhere, I'm gonna block it just because, giving him a little grin before moving to the other side of the parking lot. He was yelling as I drove off still, and now I'm wondering if I'd be the idiot for telling them what happened to him. Edit. I wish I could edit the title to Would I Be the AH if I ask if his cousin is well? I don't want to tell them to stir the pot or have them tell him off. I'm considering mentioning it as I'm concerned whether or not I need to be concerned with this guy moving forward and how often I'll be seeing him. You're the idiot. To answer your main question, you would be an idiot if you tell your sister BIL right now. It's the day after their wedding. They don't need to be bothered with this BS. Let them enjoy this special moment in their lives. Tell them another time, sometime after the honeymoon, ideally. You're the idiot if you bring it up anytime in the next month or two. Let them enjoy their honeymoon time, and once life has gone back to normal for them, you can mention it as, hey, this weird thing happened. But that guy was the real prick here. Honestly, I would wait just because it seems likely he's going to tell them first anyways. Might as well let him be TA first. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for not defending my sister after my husband said good luck, you'll need it marrying her to her fiancé? My husband used to get along with my family until my sister falsely accused him of cheating on me. He understandably doesn't like her anymore, but he's usually civil towards her. My sister recently announced her engagement, and while everybody congratulated her, my husband turned to her fiancé and said, "Good luck, you'll need to marry her." I was shocked he would say something like that, especially in front of my parents, but I never said anything as I didn't want to fight with him in front of everybody. My sister kept giving me a look like she expected me to say something, and when I didn't, she yelled at him herself. I made us leave because I could see that being there wasn't helping the situation. My sister has been texting me about what happened, mostly to take digs at my husband. She gets angry every time I ask her to stop and thinks I'm siding with him when he was in the wrong. Things have gotten worse after I told her I wouldn't be going wedding dress shopping with her, as she's blaming my husband for that too. She sent him some messages directly, and he fanned the flames by saying he wouldn't let me go and she would be lucky if we even attended the wedding. I've spoken to my husband and asked him to stop making things worse. He has agreed to stop responding to her, but she wants me to make him apologize and to agree to visit when she wants to go wedding dress shopping to prove I'm not siding with him, which I can't do. Not the idiot. Reading some of these comments amazed me. She falsely accused him of cheating, and she wants an apology. I agree with him. Good look to her fiancé. He is marrying a two-faced liar, not the idiot. Your sister is a grown woman who can speak for herself. If you disagreed with what your husband said, certainly you could have said something at that time, but if you didn't disagree and just kept your mouth shut, then that is a choice you're allowed to make as well. These two are both adults and should work it out between themselves, not involve you. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my sister to quit having unprotected sex, or else I'll tell our parents? My, female 20, sister Bella, female 18, recently got her first boyfriend, Brad. He is older than her, male 24, and has a bit of a reputation. Our parents are very conservative and Bella hasn't told them about him yet. Yesterday our parents were gone and Bella invited him to our house. I could hear them having sex because her room is right next to mine. After he left, I wanted to discuss this with Bella. I asked her if they were safe. To my surprise, she told me straight up they were having unprotected sex because Brad refused a condom as it doesn't feel the same. I explained to her that in addition to the risk of STDs, who knows how many girls this guy has slept with, there is the obvious risk of pregnancy. She told me that Brad had assured her that the pull-out method is safe, and he never had any problems. I told her that's obviously not true. Honestly, I blame her poor knowledge because sex is a taboo topic in our family, and our mother never had these conversations with us. Anyways, I told her that she should quit seeing this guy, or I'll tell our parents about it. She got mad and told me to leave her room. We haven't talked since then, and I'm not sure what to do going forward, as I am really worried for her. Everyone sucks here. If you discuss her sex life with anyone else, especially your parents, you're violating her privacy. She is an adult and free to make her own bad decisions, but definitely provide her resources. Brad is an idiot and is going to get her pregnant. The pull-out method isn't a guarantee, and many men don't realize there can be sperm in their pre. Your parents are the biggest assholes for leaving their child uneducated. Everyone sucks here. It's not really your place to get involved, but I 100% would probably do it too. As for your sister, let her know there is a word for people who use the pull-out method: parents. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my mother-in-law that I don't like her food? My husband, 23, and I, 21, both come from different cultures. For example, I'm actually an immigrant and only moved to America when I was just 12 years old. There are a lot of things my husband and his family does differently than mine, things that I'm not quite accustomed to. One being how they prepare and season their food. To me, it's just super bland, and the stuff they choose from food combinations just doesn't seem to go together. For example, my mother-in-law puts mayo on literally everything. I even saw her make a tortilla pizza as mayo as her base, which she offered to me. Each time she offers me food, I always make up some kind of excuse to avoid eating it and try to be as polite as possible about it. But unfortunately for me, after I invited her to dinner, she felt compelled to do the same for me, even when I told her it's not necessary. The next day after the dinner we had together, she started making plans with my husband. When my husband brought it up to me, I told him I really didn't want to go, to which he replied, "My mom's food is not that bad. Could you please just deal with it for one day?" Now, in most cases, I would have just sucked it up in order to maintain a good relationship with my mother-in-law, but I'm pregnant in my first trimester and am feeling extra nauseous. I honestly don't think I'd be able to keep the food down in the condition I'm in. My husband grew up eating her goods, which is maybe why he doesn't think it's that bad. I mean, even my family thinks so. When my mom invited her over for a family get-together, she brought some pasta, which tasted like a whole package of ketchup was dumped in it. I ended up venting to my sisters and mom about the issue, and they all gave me the advice to just be honest. And my mom even said that if I don't be honest now, it's something I'll have to deal with for the rest of my life. So I decided to call her and express to her that I'm not accustomed to eating the type of foods she is used to making. And since I'm pregnant, it'll be really hard for me to swallow because of my nausea. I even offered to teach her the recipes from my homeland that she seemed to really enjoy. It didn't go too well. She was really offended and told me that she'll never cook for my ungrateful ass again, and told my husband. My husband is really disappointed in me because he felt like I should have just pretended to keep the peace, and is upset that now my mother-in-law doesn't even want to invite me over again. I feel super bad now and seriously want to know if I'm the idiot in this situation or if I was being too mean or disrespectful. Am I in the wrong? Update. I have invited my mother-in-law out to a tea cafe and spoke to her in person. I was able to explain myself better, and I choose not to back down on me not liking the type of food she cooks. I'm sorry, but this is my life, and I'm choosing not to live the rest of my future being pressured into eating foods I do not like, and am also choosing to live my relationship based on honesty. I had an honest discussion with my mother-in-law and explained to her that I love her as a person and appreciate the time and effort she puts into making my husband and I food. But I honestly do not like the type of food she chooses to make. I explained to her that it doesn't make her any less of a person or a bad cook. It's just my personal preferences. She took it extremely well this time and apologized for insulting me, and told me that she has never been the best cook and would love to take me up on my offer to learn some meals from my homeland. I ended up suggesting that we take cooking classes together, and she loved the idea. I think the little bump in the road gave us a stronger bond, and I'm glad we were able to patch things up. I personally don't think the advice I was getting from the majority of this sub was good advice, and would recommend to anyone in my situation to be honest and kind. I even made it known to my mother-in-law that I'd myself appreciate the same kind of honesty coming from me, and if she ever disliked food I made or even a gift I gave, to please let me know so I can make or get something she'd enjoy. She even made jokes about previous gifts I got her, LOL. You're the idiot. You don't call someone up and tell them you don't like the food they cook for you. You just don't. If you're pregnant, you can say you're nauseous the night of the dinner and just eat very little. But it's just basic manners when you're being hosted to pretend the food is good. Yes, you might have to deal with this the rest of your life. Who cares? Occasional meals you don't like are not the end of the world. You're the idiot. You chose to marry a man from a different cultural background. That comes with acceptance of how they do things differently than yours. Eating bland food for the sake of peace is common courtesy. It would have been different if it was repulsive. Your post reeks of, "My culture is great, hers is bad." Did you seriously expect her not to be hurt, sad? Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for laughing at my wife's name choice for our son? I decided to make a new account because I'm currently being bashed by most of my family members on this, and they follow me on my main Reddit account. So my male 35 wife, female 32, is pregnant. She's due in 2 weeks, and I am beyond excited because this would be my first child, and I've always wanted to be a dad. Yesterday, we were in bed together, talking about our baby. All of a sudden, she jumps up, excited with a huge smile on her face. She told me to stay on the bed because she had a surprise for me. She went into our closet and grabbed a box. It was decorated with ribbons and bows, so I assumed it was a gift for me. She handed it to me with the same big grin on her face. It was obvious she was excited to see my reaction. I asked her what it was, but she just kept on saying, "Open it, open it." I opened it, and inside was a blue on-site with the name Bartholomew in cursive stitched in the middle. Now, I had agreed that I'd let my wife name the baby since she was the one giving birth, and I felt as if it would be something really special for her, so I trusted she'd name my son something at least normal. I asked her what it meant, and she said, "Surprise! That's going to be his name." She sounded so happy and enthusiastic, so I knew she was serious. I busted out laughing to the point of tears. I honestly could not believe she was going to name our son that. What the hell kind of name is Bartholomew? She got really silent and started tearing up. When I noticed this, I sat up and stopped laughing. She snatched the box off me and stomped back to the closet. I asked her if she was serious, and she said yes. Apparently, she's decided to name our son after her grandfather, who she was very close with before he died. I told her that she should think about this because it's an outdated name. She started yelling at me, saying I was judging my son before he even came out of the womb. She stormed out and is now staying with her mom. I honestly can't believe she's serious. Her dad called me yelling at me because apparently she's told on me. I've been called immature and a joke so far. I'll probably just apologize, but there is no way in hell I'm calling my son by that outrageous name. I'm currently thinking of a nickname to call him. Any ideas? Am I the idiot? You're the idiot. Even if it's a ridiculous name, you said to yourself that you gave her the choice to name your son as she is the one giving birth. You also said to yourself that she looked very happy and excited, and then you started laughing? That's some idiot behavior, not the idiot. Am I the only one who thinks Bart is going to be a fine name? In a classroom with 20 Liams, be the Bart. Maybe I'm biased because I find most of the current popular baby names atrocious.